Mr. Gaurav Vasudev. He has more than 22 years of industry experience, which inspired him to create the leading group of companies known as GAPS Engineering, with the verticals dealing in engineering services and specializes products solution for heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and indoor environment quality. He is an active professional and associated with many renowned organizations like ISHRAE, ASHRAE, FSAI, SIE, IAQA, ISLE. Today, Mr. Gaurav will walk us through AHU construction post-COVID amendments. So delegates, let's welcome Mr. Gaurav.
It's been a pleasure to be part of this forum and speak among all my senior colleagues who have been talking about what about the ventilation and natural ventilation, what we should do, what we should not do. But unfortunately, today's scenario post-COVID, the designs have been drastically changed. I'm not going to run through a formal presentation because this is more to understand for the people who are doing the installation, design, civil construction, and all. So when we start speaking about Indian context, in ISHRAE also we speak a lot on making a standards and all, but somehow doing the design we are not considering that we are overdoing it. And when we start overdoing in any condition, be it your commercial application, be it a residential, be it industrial application, we tend to lose a lot on energy, which is a counter effect of making indoor air quality better. So in India, as Mr. Vishal rightly mentioned, we are doing more project with either recirculation or a mixed ventilation. By doing that, we have to do either a filtration when we are bringing the air from outside. Secondly, we have to clean the air which we are recirculating in the system. So before COVID, nobody was worried about HEPA filters, MAF 13, MAF 14 or H14 or U17 in their premises. But somehow with COVID awareness of people, everybody started looking at a better filtration. But our existing projects, existing designs, AHUs or anything is not suitable to take care of those additional filtration systems. So what is happening is we are trying to incorporate, let's say, which was only with F9 filter earlier, we just trying to put the U or H13 filter into it. The putting H13 filter, which is HEPA class, you are increasing the pressure on fan as well as on your motors. And the result of that, we are bringing down the overall capacity, which Mr. Vishal has mentioned, CFM. The overall CFM of the system is coming down and we start having more problems in the ventilation or indoor air quality. Number two, when as the standard started speaking about the dilution, we started bringing in the fresh air. We all know, as Dr. Yash Shukla also mentioned in his slide, there are some months of the year across India when we have outdoor is not that very good, which we can bring them directly to our system. So we want to filter that particular air and start bringing that in. What will happen if we don't put a proper filtration over there? We are going to start losing again the PM 2.5 level or another kind of gases and another pollutant will start coming into our indoor environment. So we really need to be very, very sure what kind of systems we are implementing, trying to bring the fresh air in. So for existing systems, what we are suggesting to our customers or on our projects, that we should have additional fresh air, which is having all kind of latest filtration technology. Again, based on the location, we can decide whether it's a gaseous, chemical, or just PM 2.5 or another kind of filters can be installed. And that additional fresh air can be introduced into the air handling units. So now, as we are designing the new projects similarly, and we are trying to put all the available technologies into our specifications, which is not recommended. Like we have seen in past couple of months, there are a lot of tenders which has been coming out from government and private authorities, where they are using ESP filters in a recirculation system. They are using UVGA, they are using HEPA on the same air handling unit, which is not recommended when we are going to use it. Whereas Mr. Webb have also indicated a term ozone. If we use too many these items like ESP and UVGI into return systems, that is going to increase the ozone conditions inside very high, which is not recommended, because ozone does not affect us on a very short, let's say, if we have a exposure to ozone for a short time, it is not going to affect us. But if we are sitting into ozone environment for a much longer time, that is going to affect our body, and it can also lead up to cancer situations in future. So we need to be very, very careful when we are deciding, when we are choosing. We also need to look into AHU constructions should have a thermal break on their systems when we are talking about a fresher bringing in. Today, there are tenders which are coming in where you have the fresher coming in, but they are not incorporated thermal break. What will happen? If we don't have a thermal break, we are going to have a condensation. And as Mr. Vishal has indicated earlier, if we have a moisture, if we have a condensation, that is equally bad for indoor air quality. Wherever we get condensation, low temperatures, no light, that will lead to a generation of microbes and bacteria, which generally happens on our coil. So if we have condensation and everything on our air handling unit, and it is lying inside our AHU room where the return is free and it is just trying to get into air handling unit through return without ducting, then the microbes and bacteria can enter into system once again. So when we are designing, when we are looking at the construction of air handling units or the rooms of air handling units, we really need to provide enough of space which is required for breathing of an air handling unit. I've been visiting a lot of sites. I've been visiting a lot of our customers also, where they want to upgrade their air handling unit in size with the latest technology, but somehow they don't have enough of space available in their air handling unit room. So we need to be very careful while designing the air handling AHU rooms. Why I'm pointing this out? Because this is more challenging thing for us, rather than talking about what kind of technology we are speaking. We know the design. Let's say my air handling unit is a 4 meter in length, but my air handling unit room is just giving me a 4.2 meter space. So within 200 or 200 available space, I cannot install an air handling unit which is having all these kind of technologies inbuilt. And this is happening on major projects right now. Why? Because civil construction has been done before COVID situation. Now the rooms has been built up. There is no additional space available, but customers and suppliers are looking to put in everything, all possible technologies into air handling units, which is going to be a critical case when it is going for an installation at site. And contractors will have a big challenges to handle these kind of situations, because they cannot play with the civil construction. So why I was trying to point out all these construction issues, because this is something which has never been addressed in any kind of forum so far when we speak about HVAC. And I found this as an opportunity to give my experiences which we are facing day to day on the new and the old projects. So with that, I'll hand it over back to Trishna on this. Thank you very much, Trishna.